Hey nerd family, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about Roku. Now this isn't going to be a full in-depth dive into Roku. If you guys want to see that, let me know down below. We'll make sure to put another video together. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Roku Originals, and if I've been underrating Roku this whole time. Before we get into today's video, I'm going to go ahead and roll that intro, and I'll see you back here in a second. Alright guys, welcome back. I hope everyone out there is staying safe and staying healthy. If you haven't already checked out the nerdcircle.com, make sure to head over there and check it out. Also, make sure you're following along on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Nerd Circle. Today we're going to be taking a quick look here at Roku, since they did unveil the Roku Originals back last month here in May of 2021. Now, it's no surprise that Roku hasn't been my favorite streamer. I do really like the Android TV-based streamers, and one of my big favorites is going to be the NVIDIA Shield. There's been a lot that have come out since the NVIDIA Shield came out, but I do like the Android TV look and feel, and there's been a lot of improvements lately. I still don't really like the look and feel of Roku, but I've been taking a better look at them ever since they came out with the Roku Originals. So first we're going to dive into the menu here. Now, behind me, I do have the Roku TV. Now, of course, Roku comes in a variety of flavors, whether you want to get the Roku stick, the Roku little boxes, if you will, the Roku TVs. There's a lot of other things. We'll take a look at that a little bit later on. But today, I do have the Roku TV. Mine is the TCL Roku TV. I believe it's a 42-inch. It is 4K. I really don't remember any of the other specs of it, but it's been really good for me. When you first dive in, you have your menu over on the left over here. You have your home screen, your featured free, your my feed, movie store, TV store. You got search, streaming channels, my offers, and of course you have your slew of settings. Depending on what device you have, you may or may not have all the different settings, but with the Roku TV, there are a lot of different settings that you can go through. We're really not going to do a deep dive, like I said, into any of that today, but there are a lot of different settings. You can, of course, go through all the different things over here if you want to check out the movie store, the TV store. They have no shortage of streaming channels. That is one of the good things, is they have a vast library of channels. And what makes them even better than most of the Android streaming devices, except for some of the newer ones, is that they do carry Apple TV. So if you are into the Apple shows, but you really just don't want to spend the money on the Apple TV device, you can get Apple TV over here on Roku. So that is a step up for them. Now, with it being the Roku TV, you also have your different devices that you can plug in, and you can access all those through the menu. So that is kind of cool. I just don't really like how clunky it is. I like the look and feel of the Android platform, but that's just me. You do have access to all of your apps. You can move them. I do feel like it's a little slow or sluggish sometimes, but it's not that bad. Like I said, there's no shortage of apps. I really only categorize the top few rows. All these other ones are just kind of random, and I really don't use all of them, but they are here. And I'm sure I don't have every app, but I do have quite a few, as you guys can see. You can go over here to add channels. You can also on the TV set a sleep timer, and there's a bunch of other things you can do. Today we're really going to be looking at the Roku Channel, because this is what is new in setting them apart, and I think going to set them in a whole different category. When you go into the Roku Channel, there's quite a bit of free content on here, and that is the key word here, is it's all free. They now have Roku Originals that, like I said, they started back last month in May. For those of you that don't know, they used to be Quibi original shows and or movies. And when Quibi went under, Roku bought all of the licenses to all those shows and movies. They haven't used all of them yet. I can only assume that they're going to be adding more of them as time goes on, because it seems like Roku wants to get into the original game and be able to have their own originals. So they're starting off with the ones that they bought from Quibi. They just haven't used all of them yet. But as you go through some of the featured, you can see they even have the live TV. We'll take a look at that in a second. We'll go into the Roku Originals here in a moment. You have your continued watching, so a few things that I had just checked out to see. New this month is cool because then you can kind of see what is coming here, or what has been added recently. You've got the Roku Originals. You've got recommended. You can go based on characters. That's kind of cool. Back to your live TV. You've got trending. You can also add some of your pay channels. So if you want to add Showtime, you can subscribe to Showtime and watch these things. Here's the other premium subscriptions, so you can subscribe to A&E, Showtime, Epix, Stars, All Black TV and Film, AMC Plus, Fox Nation, BET Plus, Cinemax. I mean, the list goes on. You got a bunch of different things that you can add. A lot of these things are also in Amazon channels if you use the Amazon Prime Video, or in the Apple channels if you have the Apple TV Plus. But it's nice to see that they have the option, or starting to have the option, that you can add all of these. They have popular on the Roku channel. They have just TV you can break down. They have a whole bunch of other categories. You do have some special offers, so if you want to combine, for example, Showtime and BET Plus, you can get a discount. Showtime and Epix, Showtime and Stars, Stars and Epix. They do have a couple of the premium channels where you can watch the first episode of shows for free. They have Last Chance to Watch for free, reality, crime and dramas, suspense, sitcoms, adventure, crime, action, fantasy, thriller, sci-fi, mystery. It looks like the list just goes on and on and on. So they definitely have no shortage of content. Now, I may be the minority here, but I really did enjoy most of the Quibi original content, and I was sad to see it go, so I am glad to see that it went somewhere at least, and that you can get it for free on Roku. Now, it is ad supported. Maybe at some point they will add a subscription base to it or something. Who knows what they're planning in the future here, but as of now, it's just a free content with ads. That's okay. But they do have a lot of them. So if you guys hadn't checked it out when it was Quibi, you have Chrissy's Court, you have Die Hard, Most Dangerous Game, Punk'd, Free Ray Sean, The Fugitive, Dummy, Reno 911, Royalities. They have a bunch of stuff on here. Like I said, it's not all of the Quibi originals just yet, but they do have a little bit from each category that they added on here. Enough to get everybody started. And I'm sure they're going to continue to add things as the months go on to keep it fresh until they actually start getting into making their own content. But they do have a little bit of stuff there. Then if we go back out, go over to live TV. I don't know if it's just Pluto TV, but they do have your live TV built in here. It does seem like most of it's pulled from Pluto TV. I didn't really do the research to figure out if all of it is, but they do have, as you can see, quite a few channels in here. It went back to the last channel that I was watching as I was testing it out here, but they do look like they have a lot of content here. I didn't look to see what the number actually goes to. Now, yes, you could just use Pluto TV or any of the other free streaming services. You could just go into those apps. But it is nice that it has it built in here. And I know that some of the other streaming devices are starting to do this as well. but it's nice to see it on a Roku, which is one of the cheaper devices. We'll get a little bit more into that here in just a little bit. So it starts at 115. I don't know if it goes all the way to the 1190, but it does have a lot of channels. So awesome option to have live TV built in there as well. So I might have been undervaluing them a little bit. Let's take a little bit of a look into some of the other things that are off the TV here. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the computer. So as I said, I think I may have been underrating Roku a little bit. They are one of the cheaper streaming devices. There are a lot more coming out now that are in the same price point, and it really depends which one fits the bill for you. But they are in the cheaper realm in most cases. Now, they weren't the first streaming device. Technically, Apple TV did come out with their first generation in 2007, almost a year before Roku came out with their first generation in 2008. Again, we can do a further breakdown in a full Roku video if you guys would like to see more information, but they were close to the first streamer. Technically, that first generation Apple TV wasn't very close to anything that we have today, but I'm sure that the first Roku wasn't either. But Roku has paved the way for a lot of our streaming devices that we have now. If you guys head over to roku.com/products, you can take a look at what I'm seeing here. So you can see a lot of their different products. They have their streaming devices. They now have Roku Audio, which is really cool. And then they have the Roku TVs. We're going to just take a quick glance into Roku TV here. So if you explore Roku TVs, it's going to open up this tab over here. This is a really great tool if you guys want to be able to kind of price shop what the best Roku TV is. Now, yeah, they don't really have any of the, what you would say, big brand TVs, and they may not have all the fanciest of features, but they are starting to have a lot of the great features in the, quote, lower budget realm, and Roku does come in that lower budget. So if you look here, you can see all the different brands that you can shop, and if you click the links there, it's going to go ahead and bring you to where they sell them. So you can shop multiple stores at one click. It's a really great tool to be able to shop quickly and find the best price. It does give you a lot of information about the TVs. They tell you, what technology they have now and everything else. So definitely a great spot to be able to check out. I did open up a couple of them so we can just kind of get an idea here. I did find that you can get some really cheap smaller size TVs if you want the 30 to 40 inches, but I think most of us are probably going to want the bigger TVs nowadays. So I found that the 65-inch TVs tend to be the best bang for your buck, so I did look up some of them. Now, on Best Buy here, you can get a TCL 65-inch 4K UHD smart TV. It's a Roku. They have it on clearance for $333.99. That is an amazing price. Now, it does show it's currently unavailable for me in my area. It may be unavailable for everybody, but the reason I still kept it in here was that even at the regular price of $469.99, it's still the cheapest one that I came across that's available in this size. Like I said, you can go a bit smaller, but I mean, to get a 65-inch 4K smart TV for $469 is an amazing price. If we take a look at some others, we do have a Hisense 65 at Walmart for $498. Again, 4K. Moving on, no pun intended, you have On 65-inch 4K UHD for $508 at Walmart. If you want to go a little bit bigger, they do have a 70-inch. You can get it for $548. It's a JVC. They do have a 75-inch over at Best Buy for $799, so obviously a little bit more expensive, but you are getting a 75-inch 4K smart TV for only $799. This one does look like they have them in stock. Now, if you want to go even bigger, the biggest one I saw is an 85-inch 4K UHD HDR. It's got all the bells and whistles that you would need. Now, yes, Some are going to argue that it ain't going to come close to what a Samsung puts out or what a Sony puts out, but you're also going to spend $4,000 for those. So you can get this for $15.99 on Amazon. So if you're looking to get a nice, easy to use smart TV, 4K, 85-inch, take a look. I'll leave the link down below for the Roku website for you to go ahead and price check all these, but definitely a lot of great options. Now, if you are someone who just has to have that must-have Samsung, that must-have Sony, whatever it might be, but you want to take advantage of Roku, you like Roku, you want to be able to use what they got, that's where it's going to bring you to some other options. So, as we saw, you got Roku streaming players, Roku audio. So you got that other nice fancy TV, you just want to make it Roku compatible. So if you open up Roku audio, you're going to have a few things. You can do the Roku Stream Bar. They do have the Roku Stream Bar Pro, currently expected on back order, so expected to ship June 14th, but they do have the Pro. You can get that. It basically is a Roku, so it's going to attach to your TV. You can plug it in. You got the sound bar there to get some better sound, plus you get the Roku with the remote. Bing, bang, boom. Yeah, it's a little bit pricier, $129, but it's still cheaper than an Apple TV, and you can get Apple TV shows. Kind of a no-brainer. You can also add on your Roku wireless speakers. You can add those to either a Roku TV like we have behind us here, or if you have the Roku sound bars, you can add them to that, but you can't add them to the Roku streaming players. Just keep that in mind. But this is where I also think that Roku is coming in and being a showstopper, because you can add on the wireless speakers. You can also add on a wireless subwoofer. I believe that wireless subwoofer comes in around $179, so it's not cheap. I don't know how it works. I don't know too much about it, but it's cool that you can add on a wireless subwoofer and wireless speakers. I'm curious to know if you can add on multiple speakers and if you can add on multiple subwoofers too, but I would like to have at least 4, maybe 6 of the Roku speakers. I right now have a 7.1 surround sound, so I'm curious how these speakers actually sound for $149 and if you can add on multiple. I might be testing them out in the future. We'll see. Keep an eye out for any Roku speaker testing videos. But we got those. Definitely pretty cool. I don't really have the need for the sound bar because I have the Roku TV, but if I do want to get a different TV and don't care for the smart features that are built into it, or it's not a smart TV for that matter, and I might invest in a sound bar. We'll kind of see how that goes. But I just think that's cool that you can add on these wireless speakers. I think that's definitely a plus, and they are moving in the right direction with that, and I do hope you can attach more than just 2 speakers to the system. I think that would be really cool. Now, if you're someone who already has an amazing surround sound system, you have that must-have TV, or maybe you got a projector, whatever it might be, but you still want the Roku experience, that's where it's going to bring you back to just getting a Roku streaming player. They have a few different Roku streaming players. If you click the tab, this is what it's going to open up. You can do your Roku Express, and this is where Roku takes the cake, because they are coming in at $24.99. Normally $29.99, currently on sale for $24.99. You really can't beat that. There are going to be some other streaming sticks that go out there that go on sale. Maybe they come in at $19.99, but $24.99 to get yourself a Roku is not bad. You can go ahead and get the Roku Express 4K Plus at $39. Still coming in cheaper than some of the newer devices that they got out there right now, like the Chromecast with Google TV, which I still think is one of my favorites. I still have to do a head-to-head with the Chromecast with Google TV and the TiVo Stream 4K, but those are cheaper devices, but they both come in at that $50 price point currently, so $39.99 to have the 4K, that's not a bad deal. You can also get the Streaming Stick Plus for $39.99. I really don't like the streaming sticks that much, to be honest with you. Most of them fall a bit short. They usually don't have a lot of storage to them. They tend to get a bit sluggish because there's not a whole lot of RAM, but you can get those. If you want to go ahead and bump yourself up a little bit better, spend a little extra money, you can get the Roku Ultra. That's what I would probably gear you towards if you're going for one of these. That's going to be $69.99, normally $99, so if you can get it on sale, definitely scoop that up. Then, of course, we're going to have the Stream Bar and the Stream Bar Pro. I think that the streaming bars are going to be what everyone's going to be going towards in the future here, but they do come in that little higher price point, so you really have to be dedicated to Roku and like all the different Roku features that we went over here earlier. You do have some of your retailer exclusives. You might be able to score some other deals at Walmart, Best Buy, or any other stores. Definitely check out the website here, see what you can get for the best deal. But I definitely think I've been underrating Roku this whole time. I still don't like their look and feel of their platform. I really hope that they will streamline it in the future. I do like how some of the new devices like the Chromecast with Google TV and the TiVo Stream 4K, I like how they're really taking all of your streaming services, kind of putting it into one spot for you to make it easier, more concise and cohesive. And Roku doesn't quite do that, but all it would take is some software improvements in the future, and I think that they can make the look and feel a lot better on here. They can do a lot of those features that the other streaming platforms are doing, and if they're working on these Roku Originals here, and they have these speakers that are wireless that you can attach to your system, I mean, I think things are going up with Roku, so it could be one of the best streaming devices going forward here. Time will tell. We're going to keep our eye on Roku and see how they do going forward. But I've been underrating it the whole time. Have you? Alright guys, I have went on enough with Roku here today. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. I do hope that I gave you a little bit of information and insights into Roku. If you guys would like to see a full Roku video going in a deep dive, taking a look in their past, seeing how they've improved and what they've come up with, we can go into a little bit more in depth on these actual devices here. And like I said, I may test some of the speakers and things of that nature in the future here. But let me know what you guys think. If there's anything I forgot to mention, I'll make sure to leave it in the description down below. You'll also see any links for any of the websites we looked at here today. Alright guys, I've got a lot of other video ideas coming out soon, so make sure to stay tuned. Don't forget to follow on social media there, and check us out at thenerdcircle.com. Alright guys, and let me know, what is your favorite streaming device? Are you guys on the Roku bandwagon? If there's anything you guys saw that I forgot, please make sure to leave it in the comment section down below. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please make sure to share this video across any social media platform you like. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure to ring that bell so you get notified of any new videos to come out. You can go ahead and click the links on the screen to the older videos. And until next time, stay nerdy.